All right, so this topic is going to cover about Trump. I think, as some of you guys know, I used to be a liberal, used to hate Trump, used to think he's racist, homophobic, rapist, etc. Before I started going into depths, trying to do my own research as a liberal, and then slowly over time I became on the conservative side of things. Just because that's the case doesn't mean I actually agree with everything. I agree with a good amount, but very few things I would say I disagree with Trump and things on the conservative end. So here's what I'm going to say, and a lot of you are conservative, a very few might be liberal, and it's okay to have your disagreements with me. Just try to be polite. As long as they're not threatening to kill me or come at me, like anything like that, it's all good. You can still disagree respectfully. So here's the thing, and I'll show you some evidence later. So I did some research on it, and it turns out he was never criminally indicted. Trump was held civilly liable regarding this case with Eugene Carroll, who was the one that accused Trump of raping her in the 90s. And here's the thing. After she got the money settlement, from what I've done my research, and yeah, I know what you're going to say. The research, trust me, bro. No, it's not. I'll be showing some evidence and things like that later in the video. But basically, Eugene Carroll, she went live on air bragging about how much money she made off of it. And she said that it wasn't sexual with Trump and that rape is sexy. And I don't think a rape victim would be saying that at all whatsoever. And I really think that is a complete insult to actual women that have been actual victims of rape. And she's just not only insulting women that have been raped, actual victims of rape, but also Trump too. And this is not just Trump alone. This is like a lot of rich men. They have been accused. It's very common for them to be accused of rape because a woman can get a money settlement out of it. You can look up almost any famous male celebrity and you'll see they have some sort of rape or sexual assault allegation. It's not like a surprise anymore. Like, people are starting to catch on. So I'm going to show that. And you let me know your thoughts in the comments. And like I said, it's okay to disagree. We live in a country where we can have respectful disagreements and stuff. And for me personally, I'm also cool with changing my points of view. If there's something I disagree with someone on and they give a good amount of evidence and reasoning to back it up, and they convince me, then I might agree on some of that stuff. So that's kind of me. I'm a lot more open than I used to when I was a liberal, hearing different points of views, and I might even change some of my point of views if there's enough evidence for the other person to back it up. And I really wish this country would come to a point where we can actually have respectful disagreements instead of harassing, threatening, or even killing each other like Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace to him. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
If you support Trump after he raped Jean Carroll.
So you believe he raped her?
Yes.
Really? Was he criminally indicted for that?
I believe he was.
No, he wasn't.
For sexual abuse.
No, he wasn't. He was civilly found liable for slander in a slanted Manhattan jury. Tell me, what year was she raped?
Oh, I don't know.
She doesn't know either, actually, when she was asked.
The court found.
No, they did
that
not.
she
A
was
jury
guilty.
found him liable for smear and slander around this topic. Do you know that E. Jean Carroll said, quote, rape is sexy?
So many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
No.
She said that on air on the Anderson Cooper show. E. Jean Carroll says, do you know the facts surrounding the case?
A little bit.
Tell me.
No.
For defamation, number 26.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. This was
a civil court.
It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money. I find that offensive.
I'm asking you
but
about
as
the
a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's
again and
offensive.
again.
As a woman, I find it offensive. My political choices. I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Laken Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who wasn't illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate who's
You're asking a rape victim.
Here's the straight, factual answer with reliable sourcing. No, Donald Trump has not been criminally convicted of rape in a court of law.
However, in a civil lawsuit brought by writer Jean Carroll, a jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse, a form of civil wrongdoing, and for defamation, and that result is sometimes discussed in relation to accusations of rape. But civil liability is not the same as a criminal guilty verdict, and the jury did not find him guilty of rape under New York's narrow statutory definition. Balance scale, what happened in the Carroll civil case. Jean Carroll sued Donald Trump in a civil court, not criminal court, alleging he sexually assaulted her in the 1990s and then defamed her by denying the allegation. In May 2023, a New York federal jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation and ordered him to pay damages, around $5 million. A key technical point, the jury did not find him liable under New York's specific criminal definition of rape, which under New York law requires penile penetration. Because civil and criminal cases have different standards and definitions, civil liability for sexual abuse is not a criminal conviction. Why some people talk about rape. Some legal filings and judges involved in the case have explained that, under a broader, common understanding of the word rape, the conduct found, forcible, non-consensual penetration with fingers, fits that general definition, even if not under the specific New York criminal statute. But that interpretation is a matter of legal language and not a criminal conviction. There's no record that Trump has been convicted in criminal court of rape. Key distinction. A criminal conviction requires guilt beyond a reasonable doubt in a criminal court. Trump has not been criminally convicted of rape. Civil liability involves a preponderance of evidence and results in damages being awarded. Trump has been held civilly liable for sexual abuse.